Welcome to my channel. Today's topic is the Spanish language. Tips to learn Spanish. In this video, I will show you how to learn Spanish fast. You will discover the key areas I had to focus on while I was learning to speak Spanish confidently in only a few months. This video breaks down the key study practices you need to follow if you want to get fluent in Spanish fast. And at the end, I will share a sample daily Spanish learning schedule with you so you know not only what to do, but exactly when to do it. These are proven strategies that will result in you being able to actually speak Spanish very quickly, without moving abroad, without quitting your job to study full-time. Be aware, this is intensive. You will need to work damn hard and it might not be for you, then just skip this video. But if you are willing to put in the effort, the results will be more than worth it. Let's start. Step 1. Build a sizable vocabulary in Spanish. Words are the building blocks of a language. As you set out to learn Spanish, nothing else matters much if you don't know enough words. Now, the ideal way to grow a sizable vocabulary in Spanish is by learning as you go. For that reason, some good generic advice is to try to use Spanish in your daily life and concentrate on learning the specific words and phrases that you find most useful. However, because we are under some time pressure here, you need to take a more direct road. Here is the key fact. Studies of Spanish word frequency tell us that 1000 most frequent words in Spanish account for 89% of all spoken Spanish. This means you have only got to learn around 1000 words to understand the vast majority of everything you will hear in Spanish. Step 2. Take a self-study Spanish course. The most efficient way to learn the basics is usually with a good Spanish for beginners course, because all the important stuff is laid out for you in an easily digestible way. Most important of all, make sure the course you choose includes plenty of dialogues and comes with both audio and text, so you can improve your listening skills and learn to understand real spoken Spanish. Study the video lessons in the course every day and aim to complete it over the space of 4-6 weeks. I recommend not spending too much time with the exercises provided, because we don't aim to learn grammar rules to perfection. Instead, we aim to complete entire course so you can get good overview of how the language works. Just use grammar exercise as extra practice. Focus most of your energy on reading the story or dialogues, acclimatizing to the sounds of Spanish. But if you are not a beginner, then choose a resource that's focused specifically on that intermediate level. Rather than asking your tutor teach you Spanish, I want you to request something very specific from them. Focus on speaking rather than study. Base your conversations on the topics from your course or textbook. In other words, there is an important process here. Study new topics, grammar, and vocabulary from your course or textbook at home. Use your lesson time to practice talking about those things. By doing it in this way, you will quickly master the things you are learning every day and be able to use them in your speaking. Step 3. Don't obsess over Spanish grammar. One of the biggest traps beginner Spanish learners fall into is the desire to learn Spanish grammar perfectly. Now, while it's important to learn the basics, you can actually get quite far with an elementary knowledge of Spanish grammar, especially people who know English, because Spanish sentence construction is often similar to English. And you certainly don't need to know all the ins and outs of Spanish grammar in order to communicate well. I still make occasional mistakes with the subjunctive, for example, and the verbs ser, estar, but people still understand me fine. I don't wish to undermine the importance of grammar in Spanish, but major risk is that you end up worrying so much about grammar rules that the rest of your study grinds to a halt. So take some time to understand the elementary Spanish grammar, but then move on. The following essential grammar points are a good start for you. Ser, estar, por, para, Spanish past tenses, and the subjunctive mood. Get familiar with these topics and you will have covered pretty much everything you need to start using and living Spanish. Do this, then place your focus on the core tasks of learning vocabulary and speaking. Step 4. Read Spanish as much as possible. As a complete beginner, you will struggle to read much because you don't have enough vocabulary. However, as soon as you are ready, you should make reading Spanish something you do daily. You will grow your vocabulary quickly and learn grammar in a natural way because you see it being used in a context. And in fact, this is a series supported by work of popular linguists and language learning experts. The point is that we learn a language when we speak and read comprehensively. By the way, if you can also find the audio version of the text you are reading, then you can listen as long as you read. That helps you form connection between the written and spoken language. And most importantly, you will understand native speakers. When you are reading an early stage of learning Spanish, it can be hard to find something to read because it will be hard and overwhelming for you. For that, I recommend you pick up a copy of these books I mentioned here. Spanish Short Stories for Beginners by Ollie Richard and 101 Conversations in Simple Spanish. These books I mentioned, they are also available in audio format. If you are already at intermediate level, you will probably be looking for more challenging material. If you struggle to fit everything into one day and you find reading Spanish takes too much time, then try to set a simple daily minimum quota of reading. A chapter every evening before bed, for example. Focus on enjoying your reading above all, and don't try to study a book. If you are spending enough time reading and listening to Spanish, learning will happen naturally and you will reach Spanish fluency fast. Number 5. Make Spanish part of your lifestyle. The following piece of advice is at risk of seeming a bit throwaway, but in fact it's far more important than you might think. How do you make Spanish part of your lifestyle? For example, get your daily dose of TV, news, etc. in Spanish rather than your native language. Subscribe to the Fluent Spanish YouTube channels for viewing. Join local Spanish societies and attend events. Attend classes like yoga or salsa delivered in Spanish. Go to local language exchange events and practice with people. What we are talking about here is really changing out activities you might otherwise do in your own language with equivalence in Spanish. It's one of my favorite learning methods actually. All the extra exposure you get over these 2-3 months will really help you to get used to this language, and this will ultimately help you to learn Spanish easily and quickly. And here is my last and sixth rule for you to learn Spanish: don't travel abroad to learn Spanish. Have you ever thought, if I only could travel Spain or South America, I would be fluent in no time? Well, actually I have lived in Spain, and I can tell you learning a new language is far easier when you are at home. For a start, there is such kind of myth that you will be able to practice Spanish all day long if you travel. Well, in most places people don't care and don't take time to stop and assist you practice your rudimentary Spanish skills. You are more likely to be perceived as a tourist and even spoken into another international language much of the time, just believe me. When you are at home, first of all, you are in control of your own schedule, which is vital in order to fit in all study you have to do. Although packing up and moving to Andalusia, for example, can seem like a romantic adventure, so you won't feel much like sitting down and to be busy with your textbook and so on. Now, once you are more advanced or once you already have decent conversation, then spending time abroad is an essential way to improve your fluency, to improve your language. But not yet, especially if you are a beginner, it's not a good idea. If you really want to learn Spanish fast, stay home and you will get further faster. And guys, in conclusion, as you can see, learning Spanish fast requires some dedication, but it's possible. The secret is to stay focused on big picture techniques that will actually help you learn this language and speak it. These tips I have shared are the best ways I know as a polyglot, so you can also learn this language. If you would like to learn more about my techniques in depth, then please contact me through my social media accounts. I will try to help you there as well. And at the end of the video, I will share the sample schedule as I told at the beginning of the video. So please also read it. Maybe it can be helpful for you as well. So, do you think that these tips would work for you? Is there anything I have missed? Please let me know in comment below and do not forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.